So I've just been sitting here for like 10-15 minutes thinking of an intro. Couldn't come up with anything. So, hi. That's all I got. What's up, guys, and welcome, man. It has been, this is a common theme. It seems like it has been a while since the last video, and figured I was gonna go ahead and today and kind of show you guys the progress that I've made and where we're at with the GTR restoration and what's to come and so on and so forth. So without further ado, let's just kind of hop into things. I hope you guys have been doing well. Been really busy on my end, not necessarily with the GTR, unfortunately. Haven't been able to put much time into it, just been busy at the shop, man. So yeah, let's just hop in and let's check out where we're at with this thing, because there's definitely been some changes, some progress has been made, and I'm pretty excited to show you guys. So if this is your first time watching, tuning into the channel, first off, welcome. My name is Calvin. Hello. And we're restoring my GTR here at my home. This isn't even just I'm renting this place, so here we are. Now, if you guys have been up to date with the story, you guys know the deal. Basically got scammed big time on this car, and if you haven't, go ahead and check out the previous videos. It's a mess of a situation, and I will have an update for you guys regarding the seller, regarding the whole situation with this car pretty soon. Just be patient, and I appreciate you guys holding off and working with me on that side of things. But let's continue. Yeah, so like I said, if you're new, I mean, everything is this guys is a restoration, not just painting an engine bay, not just changing a couple bolts here. This is a restoration, okay? Don't get it twisted. Every single nut and bolt has been removed. We're going through every square inch of this car, diving in, removing, repairing, fixing all the rest. So if you guys remember last, we were working on the frame rails. So let me actually spin the car to the side, and I'll kind of show you guys where we're at with the frame rails. By the way, I got one of those like kind of silent compressors. It's pretty quiet. It's quiet enough to have in a place where you're not annoying everybody. Only downside, it is small, so you can't get too much done, but it's a handy little thing to have in the garage. So it's still kind of loud, but at least I don't have to raise my voice too much. Oh, there she is. All right, guys, so if you remember, we removed the entire frame rail portions off this car, and obviously we still have that whole side to do, but regardless, as you can see, we are back, fully welded back onto the car. These things have seen some work inside and out. I will now show you guys some pictures and videos that I took on my phone just in the background of getting these things sorted and getting them where they need to be. So inside here is a transmission mount. This whole mount inside here was all rusted, all rotted out. So actually this whole portion of the frame rail, all sides are brand new metal. So it was just rusted and corroded to a point where I just wasn't happy with just reusing the factory frame rails. So recreated this front portion. I think it came out really good. It looks really good. Very happy with it. Compared to how it looked, it's night and day. So now we're protected against, you know, rust, corrosion. Inside it's all coated and protected. There's a lot of sand because if you guys can see, I kind of been sandblasting some spots here on my own and getting some stuff taken. And then don't worry about this. This is all getting replaced. This is not, none of this is staying. I have replacement rockers, and we're gonna redo all of that. So yeah, I mean, that's, yeah. So you guys can kind of see how bad the rust is on this one. It's actually worse on the other side. Yeah, frame rail is kind of complete. Let's move on to what I've been doing currently. Current task in hand. So it's just figured I'd show you guys kind of how in depth we're going, or how in depth I'm going. It's just me. Going and cleaning everything up, getting this thing right, cleaned up proper, and treated, and basically rust proof, right? So there was just a bit of rust here in between the seams, like of these two sheets of metal. So we cleaned all that up, of course, and there was some kind of lingering up in here. So I'll have some pictures, some videos rolling. You guys can kind of see the progress, but yeah, very happy. It's gonna get welded back up in here like that. You guys can kind of see the spot weld, stuff like that. So that's good there. Obviously have all this stuff remaining here. Do have to recreate. This is a mess right here, so we're gonna clean all this up. It's gonna kind of go something like that. If you guys are wondering what this copper stuff is, This stuff right here. This is actually a weld through primer, copper weld through primer. It's pretty great. I'll have a link in the description for this stuff, but yeah, copper zinc weld through. I guess there's a battle and debate which is better, but rocking the copper, it's doing really well. So yeah, that's that. And then you guys can probably also tell we're cleaning up the wheel well. I did use Raptor liner on the whole wheel wells, and I don't think I'm gonna keep it. I have different plans for the wheel wells now, and if you guys aren't aware, I mean, I know it's very dusty and dirty, but the engine bay is shaved and looking absolutely incredible right now. So I'm gonna try and avoid redoing. Luckily, when I did this engine bay, there was no rust, or if there was any, it was taken care of. So the engine bay portion of this car should be solid. I'm just kind of taking care of things on the outside. But yeah, so if you guys want to check out the process on the engine bay, definitely don't hesitate to check out the videos. But yeah, here we are, going all the way down to bare metal, as you guys can see, cleaning up rust wherever there is. There really wasn't much in here, which is good. If some of you guys are upset that I haven't filmed much of this, or really any of it, don't worry, because I have a whole nother side to go ahead and handle and take care of. So if you do want to see a lot more, I mean, I'll try, guys. It's definitely tough to kind of do all the work, film it, and be, you know, efficient in getting the work done. So that's kind of why most of the times I really don't film, just because I'm just trying to get some stuff done. But I do want to help and kind of show you guys the process, because there really isn't, at least not that I'm aware of like a publicly shown build that's like this in depth currently, and let alone in just like, I have minimal tools, so just trying to make it work, man. A grinder, a welder, a hammer, a little dolly, and we're making it work. So we're slowly but surely, man. Anytime I have a free moment, I'm out here and trying to get this thing done. So you guys can see this another piece I took off. I mean, look at the inside, it's just all rusted out. So this, I believe right here, yeah, and you guys can see. So definitely happy. I'm dissecting. Is it overkill? To some, maybe. Is this rust probably ever gonna cause an issue in the future? Maybe, maybe not, but at least now I will take care of it. I'm gonna make a whole new piece, replace it, and it's gonna be good as new. I won't have to worry about it. I know in the back of my head there is gonna be zero rust on this car. Full restoration, guys, proper, okay? We're doing it. The first of many spot welds. All right. Yeah, that's damn. Regardless, I think I should be able to get to Home Depot in time and get some more wire, because I do want to keep going. It's only 9 o'clock. Got the whole, I guess, outer edge welded up, you guys can see. All good to go. All the spot welds, besides that one, because that's right where I ran out, are all good to go. And well, besides the ones on the bottom. So I'm gonna flip the car on its side and kind of get the ones underneath. You guys can kind of see, but I need the wire before I do that. But pretty happy that was coming. Obviously we're gonna grind this all down and it'll look like nothing ever happened once we're all done, but I'm just gonna kind of show you guys how it's looking so far, and I'm pretty pleased with the result. It's gonna be great, brand new. Well, it's been about 6 months since the last video clips you guys saw. Here we are, mid-April, pretty much end of April. So today, finally, I'm back out here with the camera, ready to give you guys an update. There's a lot to go ahead and go. Also, you're gonna have to give me a break, because let's be honest, it's been 6 months since I've filmed anything besides any just random little clips off my phone. So bear with me. But I really want to update you guys with what's going on and what's to come. You know what I mean? Like, I did not give up, okay? I briefly gave up just because, man, I just wasn't into it at a point. You know what I mean? Like, it was just so overwhelming, right? Like, kept getting setback after setback, and it just all started to pile up so much, and with the shop, and it's still a lot to handle. But I'm just trying to push through it all because, let's be honest, guys, I do want to finish this car, and this is my dream car. My JDM dream car is right here in my garage next to another one of my awesome builds. Obviously, you guys that are new, 2J swap Z32, awesome car, has got some recent upgrades, but this video is not about this thing today. Let's stay on topic. So for those that are curious, shop is going very well, I guess. Just extremely busy, very stressful, just a lot to do at the moment, and but I'm grateful. Things are good. A lot of customers. Just yeah, it's stressful. I'm gonna be real with you guys. Very stressful. Also, if it looks like I've only slept for a few hours, that's because that is true. I was up late last night until about 4 a.m. in the morning. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram, definitely follow me on Instagram because that's where you guys will see pretty much daily updates on the GTR restoration itself. Much easier to post a quick story on there as opposed to a whole video on YouTube. Follow me, please. It'd be cool. We just hit 30K, which is awesome, so I appreciate y'all. But yeah, I was here till about 4 a.m., about 5 a.m. almost last night, tossing some 2K epoxy on the car. So without further ado, let's just kind of go on and I'm gonna walk you guys through everything with what's happening and what's happened in the past 6 months. Let's kind of get the car at an angle. Let's take a look at what we got. All right, like I said, sprayed some 2K epoxy underneath the car. We're starting off at this angle just because it kind of gives you a better view at everything in this wheel well. So as you guys know, originally I actually raptor lined the whole entire wheel well. I did not want to keep that. Just more and more I started to read up on it. You know, it was recommended by some people, and I just was like, man, this stuff is prone to cracking, and I really don't want to risk anything just in the long run, the moisture getting in, so on and so forth. So ditched all that, went all the way back down to bare metal, fully treated with a rust inhibitor spray, got the whole surface ready to rock, brand new for a fresh coat of some 2K epoxy. Now, this is just one simple coat, and guys, really quick, let's just take it back. You guys saw the work we did. I mean, we had all this apart. All of this is new. There's so many pieces that we replaced. Most of all this was actually remade. And at least this back portion back here, there's repairs done on the inside of the frame rail because there's just layers. You guys know, you guys saw probably. And it's just, it's still in work in progress. I don't think anything is really complete. I had this whole upper part all apart, all disassembled, remade so much of it. Everything is completely brand new, rust free. I'm very happy about it. Now I know some of you guys be like, well, wow, why didn't you film any of it? Well, don't worry, I've got a whole other side. I've got a whole other side to do as well. So this side, I just want to get this done obviously as quick as possible. This is not something that I wanted to do in the first place. So the quicker the better. So I'm just kind of getting this done off camera for the most part, filming on my phone, clips here and there, pictures, documenting, of course, making sure I'm, you know, keeping track of everything that I'm doing. But believe me, if you guys are interested with some, I'm sure some of you guys are, I will try and document as much as possible of the rest of this car as physically possible. You guys got to bear with me because 90% of the time after I'm spending 10-ish hours, give or take, at the shop, last thing I really want to do is just, I guess, you know, when I come back from the shop, like I was saying, I kind of just want to chill, do my own thing, tinker on the GTR, not necessarily make a full-out production every time. Now, if I had some help, this is future topics to be discussing, but possibly may have some help. Regardless, as of right now, I'm doing what I can, man. I just want to get this thing done. However, here I am, ready to walk you guys through everything that's happened. All right. After I primed, obviously, I mean, it's all looking so good. I'm really happy with everything. Now, this is also where I'm struggling a bit because here I am. You know, I'm pretty picky with stuff, and at least now I've gotten to become much more picky, especially since now I'm really thinking about how in-depth and how, like, high-end this car really can be. I'm really taking things to the next level, so pretty excited about that, and I really am happy with the repairs so far. Like I said, I'm going to show you guys everything, and yeah, but as far as this, it's coming out really good. However, you know, even just like factory stuff, like all these spot welds, like they're just bugging me. You know what I mean? It's just a little bit messy. And the rest of it, you know, it's not bad. I obviously have a couple nubs still to grind down. I did leave a couple exposed just because, you know, I planned a little bit about like where I want to mount stuff and how I want to route things and just do things all in general. But that's all looking good, so I'm very happy. This black 2K epoxy primer is pretty awesome. I should have the link down in the description if you guys do have like a gun setup at home with an air compressor. Me personally, I just use this Husky, like super quiet, silent air compressor. It's like a 6-gallon, 5-gallon, I don't know. It's very small, but it's good enough for just like small jobs, right? You can't paint a whole car with that. Probably not even an engine bay with that. But primer and doing kind of spot stuff, like, you know, it works out pretty well. All right, getting off topic. Moving on. If you guys need any more clarification or updates, like I said, I'll probably have some videos up on the screen while I'm going over all this. And yeah, let's move on. Wheel well, looking good. All right, well, give you guys another little look here at everything, how it's looking. I'm really trying to avoid making this everything underneath here absolutely perfect, because let's be real, guys, all of this is gonna get undercoated, and the texture of undercoating is super thick, very, very kind of it's like a rough finish, like a very, you guys know what I'm talking about. So you're not gonna be able to see any of these small little imperfections that I'm just bugging myself about. So for me personally, I'm gonna leave this alone. If at the end, once everything else is done, if I look back, and honestly, I'm probably gonna do the engine bay. I'm gonna repaint the engine bay. Don't get me started. We'll talk about it later. I think I can make it better. I'm gonna revisit this if I need to later. If I feel like I need to update, change things, we'll do it. But for now, very happy, very clean, looks very good. I'm happy. So also moving down, here we go. Painted the rear portion of the car as well up to a certain point. Now the frame rails, you guys saw, we restored these things inside and out. Took them all the way down to bare metal, sandblasted them, rust treated them with a coating. Things are brand new. I'm pretty excited about it. I'm a little upset about it. I probably should have. I mean, it's, again, this is me being very picky. This is not a big deal. A little bit of just, you know, bumpiness here, just because I just panel beaded this flat and straight. It was just a little bit crushed up, but I just kind of panel beaded it, you know, got it pretty much as close as I could, because I figured I'd just use the factory metal if I could. So that's that. Really not a big deal. Like I said, once we toss the undercoating over there, you're not gonna tell. I mean, this came out extremely clean. So just primed this section. Let's address this, the elephant in the room, shall we? This is awful. All right, let's be honest. This is awful. The idea behind it, great, functional. All right, my idea behind it was it's all reinforced on the inside, and my idea was, you know, just have a jack point that I could not worry about crushing anything up on. Okay, it's gonna work. It would do that, but it looks awful. It's not what we want to do here. This is not a good repair. Okay, let's be real. Taking a look down here, what do we have? All right, good to see. We've got some, not new, but used, in very good condition, rockers. As you guys can see, the pinch welds themselves are completely perfect. They're cut out semi-complete. You guys can see they just kind of tapped into the floor a little bit. So, you know, that's definitely much better than what we're working with here. So I have all the way up to the front. I can replace all of this till pretty much to where I have it cut, and then from this point on I'm gonna have to kind of remake a little bit, and that's gonna take me on to the rest of this stuff. So let's kind of get the car back on an angle, and I'll show you guys what's going on back here, what was done, and how it's gonna turn out. But yeah, all this stuff is like properly welded in. There's nothing to worry about. Every single factory spot that it was welded in from, you know, from factory, it's now welded back in that same way. So nothing to worry about there. Like I said, completely coated inside and out. Very happy. So that's just laid out where I'm gonna go ahead and weld the rail back in place. Obviously you guys can see something's missing. That rail is over here. This also got epoxy primered inside and out. So completely cleaned up, sandblasted, treated, coated, painted. I mean, this thing is ready to rock. Pretty happy with it. So yeah, and then again, weld through primer on the flanges where it's gonna get welded. And then the rest of it, as you can see, exterior wise, interior is all 2K epoxy primered. ready to rock. And then that leads me to my next piece of the puzzle, which is the subframe mount right here. So same thing, epoxy primered inside and out, coated, rust treated, ready to go. And this guy is gonna sit pretty much up in this corner like that. And it has to be installed after I put the rail in, of course, just because it kind of mounts itself on the rail a little bit. So that'll go in. Stay tuned. I will try and make little update videos, probably shorter ones, just to kind of keep you guys in the loop, but at least post something. If you guys are interested in that, just let me know. And then obviously once we get on that side, get much more thorough, in depth. Hopefully I have a possible friend move down in the area, help out with that stuff. That would be pretty cool. By no means is nothing complete, is everything complete here. These welds right there, I actually cut out this little spot on the floor. You might be able to tell. I didn't grind all of them down just because, well, you don't need to, they're covered up. It's just extra work. So will I do it? Probably, just because, you know, I don't know. Oh, I'm weird like that, but you guys get the deal. Very happy. Let's keep on rolling. Also, before I forget, I actually removed this whole piece. Like I said, if you guys do follow me on Instagram, you would have seen. I had to rebuild all of this flange up here, folded a piece of metal. I actually used a stretcher and got this flange built up, made up, welded on this piece. You guys can see I kind of chopped it here. I didn't get it perfectly lined back up, but it's not a big deal. It's all in this weld right there. You can kind of see it just need to be pushed back. But not a problem, because I'm not going to final weld this piece in yet, just because I will be removing this center section that kind of runs through the whole length of the car, but I can't take it off all at once because I'm doing ones at a time. So that being said, leave it tacked in, do that side, come back to it, remove the centerpiece, clean up what I need to, put it back in, final weld everything, good to go. But as far as everything on the inside of here, I mean, again, same thing. Took out all these brackets, took out this nut on the inside, and completely sandblasted everything. This piece was really bad on the inside. So happy to have done that, cleaned up the floor. It's good. Time consuming, yes, but the quality is there, and it's gonna last for well over another 30 years. And the fact that we're doing it ourselves, like, I'm just trying to appreciate and just really just enjoy the process is kind of what I'm trying to do. And doing it at a slow pace on my own time, just chilling, relaxing, having a drink, working on the car. It makes it more enjoyable. So, but yeah, this is all back in, all spot welded back in. Again, all ground down. The only spot weld I've yet to grind down is that one up there. Let's get ourselves tilted on the side and let's talk about this area up here. Oh, every time I see this, I'm just like, man, you know, appreciate the effort, Calvin. You know what I mean? It's the thought that counts, right? The idea was there, execution not entirely. But now we have nothing to worry about, and I'm all for doing seamless repairs now, guys. This is all what we're about, and that's what we're gonna get. So, continuing on, here we are. This back corner actually has seen quite a lot of work. Obviously the quarter panel's off, that's old news. Now, this area has been completely rebuilt. None of this existed. You guys can probably tell. Let me just show you guys over on this side. That's how we've started. Completely rotted through. None of this is here. This is all new. Everything you see in this little corner right here is brand new. So starting from this section back here, you can still kind of see I've still got my cut here. Still got to clean up some of the welds. But from here on was all replaced. Now there's just a piece that goes about from here to here on the inside. That's these two, you can kind of see the spot welds that attach this inner piece to the middle piece, I guess you want to call it. But this would be like the inner rocker, inner rail, you know, the part that's on the inside of the car. That's what that is right there. So that connects up to the remainder portion of it, and you guys can see just how bad it actually is on the inside too. So luckily these ones are absolutely spotless, no rust at all. So that made that piece. That was easy, good to go. Weld that back in. You guys can see obviously ground down all the welds, you know, like I said, seamless repair. That's what we're after. So then up here, clean up this whole area up here. It had some surface rust on it. Got that ready to rock. It looks brand new now. Obviously got the paint on it now. This whole rear piece also was remade. You guys can see, started up here, continued down, holds the seatbelt bracket on here, and it spot welds to this inner back piece, which I had to remake. Like I told you guys, this flange, that lip that actually rolls along the inside of that piece, which welds to this center portion of the rocker. Sorry, I know it's a lot to take in. So I left these ones open just because these bottom ones are, that's, you know, I still have another layer to wrap over them, which is just going to be, or I'm sorry, two more layers. So we still have to recreate the inner portion of the rocker, which connects to this part of the side skirt, or I'm sorry, to the rocker. I'll show you guys in a minute what we removed. That portion is going to be there, and then we also have the complete actual panel, the quarter panel, that's going to meet up to this flange as well. So yeah, so much of this is also remade on the back side. You guys are going to see pictures and everything. Made a lot of little fill-in pieces, recreated a bit of the floor. A lot was done just in this back portion right here. So got everything obviously spot welded in, made sure that penetration was absolutely perfect, went through every single layer. You guys can actually see on the back side, maybe you can't, but you can see the penetration marks going all the way through. Obviously I want to make sure that we're getting really good welds on everything going in on this car, because let's be real, don't want to mess with safety and just structural integrity and just longevity, everything, you know what I mean? So mindful about that. So I do have a hole to drill out here, and then I have to drill in a dimple, basically have to recreate a hole like that. I mean, do I have to do it? No. Do I want to do it? Yes. So we'll probably get that done. I just have to go ahead and get myself kind of a die set. If you guys have any recommendations, toss them down below or shoot me an Instagram message or something like that. Would love to get any of your feedback on what kit to go with, because that's an interesting die there. But yeah, let me know. So this was all welded in. I just left this flange up here just because I could clean up behind it. So all the welds on the inside were cleaned up, and then I welded this piece on afterwards. So got this piece welded on, cleaned up both on the front and the back side. Like I said, seamless repair. You might hear me say that over and over again. That was good. So now it looks like nothing was ever done. So I'm mimicking exactly one-to-one how the original pieces were. That leads me to my next piece, which is a weird one, because I didn't really understand why this was the way it was. There's actually another piece that I'm also very curious as to why it is the way it is. But after talking from Steve from SR Auto Bodies, guys, check them out. If you don't follow on Instagram, if you guys are interested in like any GTR Skyline restoration or just restoration in general, they're your people to go ahead and check out, because they just do pretty incredible high-end work. So been talking to him, and he actually sent me some pictures back from like 2000, I don't know, early 2000s, mid 2000s, and he was like, yep, it actually does go this way. Because I was curious, it looked, after kind of dissecting that other side, it seemed like it just kind of, there's a layer on the inside back here, and after you get them welded together, it just ends, it just terminates. It just kind of, this is exactly the way it is from factory. Now you'll see my bead rolls. They're a little bit, I actually bought a bead roller, long story short, this is my first attempt. Are they straight? No. Could they have been straighter? Yes. Does it really matter? No. I'll make sure I'm a little bit more aware about how they get rolled in next time, but I thought that was kind of funny. But at least I have a bead roll in there. It gives a little bit extra strength and makes it look, you know, OEM. So happy about that. But yeah, this we were just curious because there's just a weird gap. Like that air gap back here is strange. Now there is like a folding lip. You guys can see, so I made this lip on the back side, and that actually welds to this piece on the inside, which I still have to drill a couple holes. I forgot to do that, and just weld those two together. But it's just a strange setup to me. But he sent me some pictures, and it actually proved that that's how it is. So that's the way it is. That's the way we're gonna make it. If that's the way it was from factory, that's the way we're gonna do it. Now there's another piece that goes from, you guys can kind of see like a little imprint of a body line right there. That piece is this outer wheel wall right here, and that actually also just continues down and just connects up to the bottom pinch weld. It's very strange, very weird how they have that laid out, in my opinion, but that's the way they have it out, and that's the way we're gonna do it. So I just needed a confirmation as far as like, all right, this seems weird, I don't know if I'm doing this correctly, so I just needed a, hey, this is how it looks, you're good to go. So this piece is not complete, obviously. You can see I've got it spot welded. Still got to go ahead and touch up a couple spot welds. This spot weld is about as perfect as they get. I was pretty happy about that. The rest of them are also pretty good, but you guys can kind of tell I just need to go ahead and fill up a couple little spots on them. Also up here, just I'm going to show you guys everything. Good, the bad, the ugly, the better, the best, the perfect, you know, everything. So like I said, this is kind of where I weld this piece on. The piece that I removed, it was barely anything was there. This is all, everything that I'm replacing with, it's actually the original thickness metal that I took off. It's or was after the corrosion, it's probably lost a gauge or two, but or gained, should I say. This is actually 20 gauge steel that I'm using for all these repairs, which is what the car was built with. So pretty thin, but thick enough. Once you, I mean, this thing is so rigid and sturdy on here. I mean, you could probably jack the car up on this point and be fine. Like, it's crazy how stiff and solid this piece is in this corner. But just to show you guys, like, after welding, you can kind of see I've made a little bit of a mistake, and they weren't perfectly level with each other, this piece and this piece, and you know, you can kind of tell that it's a little bit off, right? So gonna have to chop that weld off, hammer dolly, get it back flat, go ahead and weld it back up, and we should be able to get it nice and flush like we are all up in here. Only made one pass on the welds. You can see I've got a single little crack right there I'm gonna have to fill up. Still gotta go ahead and do my final sand with like some 80 grit, but still gotta finish off welding there. I bent in this little flange here, and I still gotta just have to roll the edge, because you can see the factory one bends up like I've got it on this one, but then it rolls off. I'm not too sure if you guys can see that on camera, but again, once if you guys, you know, feel free to come back and check in on a future video, and I'll show you an update on how this is all looking, because at the moment, you know, we're still in the works. This is all progress, nothing here is complete, and I'm just kind of showing you guys where I'm at. All right, so for the last spot, I'm gonna take you guys in on the inside of the car, which is just a couple spots on the floor that we had to recreate, remake, and just refurbish. So let's go ahead, flatten the car out, and I'll show you what's up. All right, try to get some light in here for you guys. So first area is gonna be this spot back up in here. Going back in on this inner piece, this kind of gives you guys a better idea as to what I was talking to you guys about. So this all was recreated, remade, and welded back in, so you guys can see. Ground everything flush, it's all ready to rock, it looks really good, and yeah, I mean, brand new. Still got to go ahead and clean it up, toss a little bit of paint on this area down here, but we're still working on it. Still have a couple welds to clean up. You guys can see some spot welds that are connecting the inner portion of the floor to the outer of the I guess inner rocker. Oh my god, there's just so much going on. And you can see my penetration marks. Sorry, there's like a high build primer on here, so it does fill up a bit, but you can see the marks there. So that's all good. This whole area was taken out, this portion of the floor all cleaned up, and just really, I mean, so much time and effort was put into is being put into this car, and this whole area down here had to be recreated because it was just all rusted away. This was non-existent, so I had to recreate this whole area in this spot there. Pretty happy with everything, how it turned out. Again, like I said, you know, things usually have to get worse before they get better, especially with situations like this, like a restoration situation. It always tends to look worse before it looks better. So bear with me, guys, but like I said, I'm showing you guys everything here, the good, the bad, the ugly, and like I said, the perfect. So we'll get there. Just keep up with the progress, and I'll you know, promise to show you guys how well it will turn out here in the end. So you guys can see these welds right here. These are penetration through from the underside, which is this piece right here. It's the welds that were connecting it to the floor. So you guys can clearly see, I mean, extremely solid penetration, really good heat rings. Very happy with that. Haven't ground them down, that's just the way they were. Haven't touched them. All these welds over here, I had this portion of the floor out. This part right here, because it was completely rusted out, had to clean it up, got it back in, tacked weld back in, so just had to clean it up a little bit, and a couple little cracks to fill in on the welds, and you know what I mean, you just keep going until it's perfect, you know what I'm saying? So we're in the process, obviously. Work in progress here, and you guys can also tell that piece that we welded in back here. But before we talk about that, I actually also had to recreate this whole piece down here on the floor. Really crazy piece to make, had a lot of bends going on. Obviously it folds down and then it curves back up, but not only does it do that, it then folds around the wheel well itself. So pretty complex to make, but surprisingly it only took me one attempt. And you guys can see, I mean, it's seamless. It's seamless. I think I tried to clean up here a little bit, but I do have to just toss a couple more welds right there because we have a couple little gaps. But all in all, I mean, seamless repair. So that's what we're after. That's kind of what it starts out with. This is the back side of the weld, so you just have to clean them up as well, front and back. But you guys can see, really good penetration, really nice welds. And yeah, just got to go ahead and clean that up.
brand new, man. So pretty happy. Pretty happy. I know it's kind of an eyesore right now because there's so much going on, so many different colors, textures, finishes, just things in general. But you know, you kind of take things one thing at a time, take it slow. It starts to come together. So let me know what you guys think. Again, I'm stoked. I mean, this is coming out really well. All the repairs are looking good. You guys can see, unfortunately, had a little bit of a gap situation here. So luckily though, MIG welder makes easy work of that. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just rest of the day probably get this video edited, of course, but then just kind of finish this off, grind these welds down, make it look flush, and just keep on keeping on. So for now, I think that's a pretty solid update. Pretty in depth. I do apologize for all the talking and everything like that, but I just want to let you guys know what's happened and where we're at. If you guys have questions, of course, drop them down below. I'd be happy to answer them. But I also want to just quickly touch on future plans real quick. So many pieces that I had to have removed, man. Really quick, I know I keep getting sidetracked, but I figured this would be funny to show you guys. These are all the pieces that I had to chop out and replace, or remake, should I say, just on this corner. That's it. So this is, you know, this is that piece back here that wraps around like that. This piece here is the one that went there like that. That is part of that outer wheel well. This here is kind of like up in here like that. This was like that, and that's all that was left. Like I said, there was just a big hole. This was non-existent, so I had to just remake that. And this is the part of the quarter panel. This is a pretty hectic piece that's going to be fun to recreate. This piece went down here like that. It was on the rocker panel just like that. So this will be fun. We're going to try and figure out how to make this. But yeah, just to be funny, I figured out, oh, this is a really odd, awkward piece that I had to bend and recreate on the inside of the floor. Right there. You guys can see, I mean, I cleaned it up, but you can see it's just, I mean, it's barely anything. I mean, listen to that. I mean, that's nothing at this point. But yeah, that's all just in this one corner. I think that's pretty funny. But you know, we're definitely saving this chassis, man. Saving this chassis, that's for sure. Doing it right. All right, guys. So real quick, obviously this thing has escalated pretty drastically. We're going through the whole damn car, front to back. Every single nook and cranny, every single seam is being checked, cleaned up, properly treated, removed. Just going all out. You know what I mean? This is it. We're not cutting corners at this point. So. Really quick, got some updates. Heard back from the seller. Okay, that's big news. This was a while ago, just haven't obviously made a video about it. That's gonna be a whole separate video. That might be the next or one after the next. I just really think you guys deserve to hear about what has happened and more so an update of the whole situation. If you're not familiar with the situation, check out one of my past videos. I'll try and link it up top. It's a messy situation, obviously, but clearly you guys can see the state the car's in. You know, this wasn't by choice. So slowly been racking up parts. I actually just spent way too much money on some Nismo Heritage Program parts. Also have another big couple of packages that could not have been possible without stacked imports. Like genuinely 100% could not have been possible without stacked imports. If you guys don't follow them on Instagram, please do. Down below, I'll have them tagged, but we'll talk about that a lot more later. I'm actually going on a trip to Denver to pick up some parts for this car and at the end of this month. So stay tuned for that. Gonna be very exciting. But yeah, so much to come. We're going all out. Not gonna be wasting any, you know, not gonna be cutting any corners. No expenses are gonna be avoided, if that's even a thing to say. I don't know. So now that this whole front area, the rail is all, I'm so happy I can just move on, because seeing this thing for 6+ months, just all down and stripped down to bare metal, or, you know, that wasn't 6 months, but for a long time, just down to bare metal, it was like, man, I've done so much work, but it looks like I haven't done anything, right? It's just one of those things. So now that it's painted all one color, cleaned up, especially in the rail as well,
it makes me feel like I've done a lot more because, man, I've been putting in work. It might be hard to tell, but literally removing pieces, drilling out spot welds takes hours, days. I can only put so much time in every day on this car. Weekends is pretty much when I really am able to put some time in. So I'm doing my best, man. I'm doing my best. So, but yeah, so like I said, we got some parts on order, on the way. Some have already arrived, a whole hell of a lot more to go ahead and purchase, obviously, but you know, we can take our time a little bit, you know. So but yeah, I just want to keep you guys updated. You know, we're still out here, the car is still in the works. I'm not giving up on it, never will give up on it. Do I want to sometimes? 100% yes. Will I? Nah, that's just not how we roll, you know what I mean? But yeah, long story short, I mean, this thing's gonna be absolutely perfect, and probably one of the very, very few rust-free, and I'm gonna claim that. I'm gonna say that, because I'm genuinely going through every single inch, every single panel of this car, and if I see rust, that panel is coming out. Whether I like it or not, you know, like I said, I'm at that point, and I'll be sure to show you guys that on the next side. But as far as what you guys have seen, the pictures, I'm sure you could probably tell I'm getting a little bit picky here. So anything I see, we're dealing with it. You know, it's not worth to skimp out, cut corners, because this car is going to be pretty valuable when I'm done, and it might be priceless to me in general. So yeah, this is one we're going to hold on to, obviously. You know, I wouldn't be putting this much work if it wasn't something we planned on keeping. Also, really quick, just want to show you guys, I don't think I mentioned, I think I was talking about it, but this is the piece that kind of goes up in here and spot welds up to the top there, and you can kind of see this doesn't weld up to that. It just kind of ends right there, but this corner piece, you can kind of see, I'm going to have to wait till I have, you know, some a quarter panel solution, you know, because we're not using those ones. Those ones are just absolute junk. So once we figure out what we're doing here, I'll then be able to get our you know, measurements and make a complete you know, just a replacement and complete that piece off. So just really quick, I am getting OEM quarter panels, just that's, you know, not putting fiberglass on this thing, come on now. But yeah, that's that. Don't worry about the Mickey Thompsons, it's for the Z. But all right, this video is probably already 30 plus minutes long. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you're still here, I do appreciate you guys, and I do apologize for the long wait. It's just been busy, man. Just life takes over sometimes, and making these videos for the most part has been a hobby. So you know, just making them whenever I can is kind of what I'm able to do at this point. So appreciate you all hanging in there, and if you guys do want to support the build, support the channel, merch is down below. Have Rust is to a minimum merch, all that stuff. Hasn't been too popular, but maybe we can ramp things up and get some sales and start getting some parts coming in. But I totally understand if you don't want to get merch, because I really haven't been posting. Whatever, I get it. But if you do want to support it, I appreciate you. But all right, guys, clearly you guys can see I have a whole lot of work ahead of me, but quite a lot of work has gotten done, and it's just me, obviously. So I'm doing what I can when I can, and we'll get there eventually. Stick around if you guys want to follow along and subscribe. I appreciate that. Drop a like, do all the YouTube stuff. Hopefully see you guys, and hopefully I see you guys sooner than 6 months later. But until then, drop a comment, show some love. Hope you guys are all well. Take care, peace. Haven't started my car in like 2 months. It's the new daily, baby. 03 hybrid, 50 mpg life. Look at that. Love to see it. Not bad for a E85 cold start after 2 months. You sound good. Actually about to build a complete 3.5 inch full turbo back exhaust for this thing pretty soon, so stay tuned for that video because I'm sure I'm gonna film it. Love this car, man. So reliable, trusty steed, but damn, that 10 mpg life, man, do be hitting pretty hard. But she needs a wash. It's been in here for far too long. Look at this thing.